Curry with the fake on Jaylen Brown. Drills.
Chance to be around him, you realize he is perfect to the bucket.
All right, let's start it, guys. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is the DeAndre Jordan contract extension stalling. So what we know is that DeAndre Jordan wants an extension with the team, but the market isn't really there, and he'll be earning significantly less money than he would if he signed the extension. I think they don't want to sign him for as much.
Okay.
Because the market for centers is going to be very weak, especially the way that he plays and his style of play.
Yeah.
It's just a lot different. They're not going to really sign him for much. And let's just get right into it. What are your thoughts on just DeAndre Jordan in general? Like, what do you think about him as a player?
I mean, there's a lot of centers in the NBA that are better than DeAndre Jordan.
Right.
Like, I think he gets the fact that he makes as much money as he does, and the fact that people expect him to get as much money is merely for the fact that he's like a larger than life character when he's on the court, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way he plays is just very entertaining, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's worth that much money. And I mean, just comparing him to other dudes, he's not, I don't know, he's not a top. I mean, I as a Knicks fan, I'd take him in a heartbeat. He's way better than the centers we have. But for the most part, I'm not giving him top dollar as a center.
Well, I just think it was funny. If you remember back when DeAndre Jordan was a free agent, he was signed to Dallas and then wasn't signed to Dallas.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of funny to me that when we look back at it, when the Clippers were at his house basically barricading any Dallas representative to even come in with furniture and stuff like that. We got Blake Griffin guarding the house looking like it's a scene from I don't know what movie.
It's so dumb.
It's just very cheesy and corny.
Very.
I would say, just because, you know, we won't get into that because that's in the past, but it's just kind of crazy to me that now they want to offer him less money because they did so much to keep him.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I mean, obviously now you don't have Chris Paul. The offense is more centered around Blake Griffin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think, the thing is, like, if we look at his stats this year compared to last year, I mean, of course, you know, it's only been a couple games, but we can kind of tell a little bit of what we're going to see, and I just don't see DeAndre Jordan really having that many more points per game than he used to. So last year, and the years that he was with Chris Paul, he had double-digit numbers in points.
Yeah.
But this year, it's a little bit lower than expected. It's 9 points here.
Yeah.
Everything else is the same, but I don't know, man. I mean, it's just one of those things that I don't believe that DeAndre Jordan is really worth that money that he says he's worth. You know, he's still a good player. He'll still be a great defensive stopper. But, I mean, if we go to a rumor that happened, I believe this was a last year's rumor, and that was for the Rockets and the Clippers to trade for Clint Capella for DeAndre Jordan.
What a mistake that would have been. Really. Clint Capella is much better than DeAndre Jordan is.
Yeah. I mean, if we look at their stats compare-wise, they're about the same. So he shoots 9 points a game compared to Clint Capella's 13.7. But the thing is, I feel like Clint Capella is a better version of DeAndre Jordan.
I agree.
And the fact is that, you know, this is Clint Capella's 4th or 5th year in the league compared to DeAndre Jordan's, like, 10th year.
Yeah.
Or 9th year. So, obviously, I feel like Clint Capella has more of an upside. And DeAndre Jordan wasn't going to factor into the Houston Rockets contending for a championship because, I mean, the Warriors were just that good that year.
Yeah.
And I just don't see Clint Capella. I just feel like Clint Capella can reach a higher level than DeAndre Jordan.
100% agree.
I mean, even though, you know, the free throw percentage isn't, you know, very good for both of them, Clint Capella is shooting a lot better now. Right now he's shooting 90%, but that's just, he's only taken 11 free throws so far in his career. Or not this career, but this year.
Yeah.
So obviously, I don't think it's going to be any talk or trade of DeAndre Jordan for anything. I think the Clippers are stuck with him, and I don't think the Clippers really want to pay him anymore.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I wouldn't want to give him top dollar, personally. I mean, I think he's definitely past his prime, right? And the mere fact that it kind of, I guess my point being, I think the Clippers season, how it goes, is going to depend on what happens with DeAndre Jordan. Because right now they're actually playing pretty well.
Right.
Considering Blake Griffin's having a great year. I know you don't like him, but I like him. And he's actually playing much better than he has in the past.
Right.
DeAndre Jordan's not putting up the stats, but they're winning. So, and he's playing a lot of minutes. So if he's on the court and they keep winning games, I think he's probably going to get his money. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will pay him. I mean, this is a league that gives these inflated contracts.
Mm-hmm. Knowing my luck, it's going to be the Knicks pay him $100 million to come play for 3 seasons or something.
You guys are probably still playing for Joakim, though. I mean, Joakim's contract is ridiculous.
It's so stupid. It's a trash player, too. Yeah, I don't know, man. I think DeAndre Jordan, whatever happens with him, he's definitely an above-average center.
Right.
But he's not in the top 5 centers in the league by a mile.
Yeah,
so...
Yeah, especially now that the NBA is geared towards the three-point shot and also just centers, running up the court with the ball as well. I mean, we see people like Anthony Davis, even DeMarcus Cousins is dribbling up the court with the ball, Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, all these guys, all these new hybrid centers, these demigod centers.
The demigods.
They're just, it's just a different game with them, and they're going to be worth more money than DeAndre Jordan because he's very limited in his offense, which is just lobs, really. I mean, he doesn't really have a post game compared to these other guys.
No.
Which is not saying it's anything bad, but, it's just how much you want to pay for him and how much you're going to get in return. It's just not there. I
100% agree. And give him another 2 years. I mean, what is the contract going to be for him, right? Because 2 years, he's only going to keep – his decline is going to start taking effect, and it's going to be very steep decline. I think, it's going to hit him hard, and he's going to be not very good in the next few years. I like DeAndre Jordan. I'm coming down on him pretty hard, though.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we can say is that, the Clippers are playing well. They're not really having any issues there. And I think it probably is an indictment on Chris Paul a little bit, but that's a different topic for a different day. But, I mean – I don't know, man. I think he maybe has a couple years left on his deal, I believe. So, I mean, he's not going to be...
They just need to wait. They can't make a decision on it yet. They need to let the season play out, see what happens. Because really, if their season turns sideways, which I think a lot of people thought they weren't going to be very good this year, like maybe bottom of the playoff contender list, they could end up being in a rebuild type scenario next year, for all we know.
Right.
'Cause really, what do they have? They have Blake Griffin.
Danilo Gallinari, I guess, who's decent, not very good.
But he's an average player, really. I mean, he's pretty good, but their team is not very good. And it could get a lot worse. Like if they lost DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin got hurt, their season could be easily lost. So they need to let their season play out a little bit more before they make a decision.
Yeah, and just to let you guys know, just so we don't screw anything up here, he's got one year left on his contract, but he also has a player option for next year, which will be worth $24 million, and I think he's reportedly wanting $35, which is way too much. And I think honestly he should keep the player option because I don't think he's going to even get close to even 25 or 26 million.
I don't think he's going to get $35 million anywhere. Even the Knicks would be hard-pressed to give him $35 million, and they're stupid. So I don't think he's going to get his money. So he needs to think about what he's actually worth rather than just saying, I want $35 million a year, because that's pretty crazy.
Let's move on to the next topic then, and this is going to be a little bit of controversy from our favorite colleague, at least George.
Is he a colleague of us? I think we're above him.
We might be above him just because I feel like he is now trying to be the Skip Bayless.
He is the Skip Bayless of ESPN.
And that is Stephen A. Smith versus J.R. Smith. Battle of the Smiths.
Smithies.
Mr. and Mr. Smith. But anyway, guys. So Stephen A. basically commented on J.R. Smith on the bench wearing his hoodie. Basically saying that because he's wearing that hoodie, it's going to remind white people of Trayvon Martin.
I mean, what is even his goal in making that comment?
I'm sure it's just to stir up drama. And the thing I really hate about these guys, especially guys like Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, is that they're trying to be above the players
Yeah.
in terms of like relevancy
Yeah.
and popularity, which to me is just asinine, as he would like to say.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me because these guys are supposed to report news. And I understand that First Take is a drama show where you're trying to create buzz and headlines, almost kind of like what YouTube does with clickbait. You're trying to create some clickbait stories. But this one I feel like is just reaching. He's just like really reaching, and I hope someone is teaching him.
I mean, to be totally honest, he could say that about a myriad of different players. Like, there's plenty of black players in the NBA who wear their hoodies up when they're not on the court. So to make that comment is pretty asinine on a lot of levels, you know? Because how does the comment not apply to everyone but just J.R. Smith? Why make the comment about J.R. Smith? Why make the comment at all? Because what's the point? What does it even mean if what you're saying is true? What is your point? Other than to get people to come watch First Take and to get the attention of an NBA player who's well known. That's honestly, I think, a big part of it, too. I feel like Stephen A. Smith, you know, people make fun of him all the time because he's like my good friend, and then he talks about some player that he's probably not really good friends with, you know? But I feel like he gets off on having these players mention him.
Right. So let me just quickly say what he said about J.R. Smith. So this was what he said, and he wasn't talking about J.R. Smith. So here's what he said. I wasn't talking about J.R. Smith. I was talking about Nike. Nike's the one that makes the hoodies. I wasn't talking about him wearing the hoodies during layup lines or whatever. I was talking specifically about J.R. Smith that was on the bench because he had only played 3 minutes in the fourth quarter of that opener against Boston. Max Kellerman, when he was sitting on the bench with his hoodie looking like a sad puppy because D-Wade was on the floor 8 of those 12 minutes as opposed to J.R. Smith, who obviously reportedly was very upset at the fact that he was taken out of the starting lineup. Handle your business. If you start playing the way you're supposed to be playing, you wouldn't be concerned about anything I say.
That has nothing to do with the original comment, though. Like, that's a response. Like, I know what that comment is in relation to what he actually said, like the original discussion point. But he didn't respond to the dramatic part of his comment, which is relating wearing a hoodie to Trayvon Martin.
Exactly.
So for him to make the comment at all is like what are you talking about? What are you talking about? It doesn't look good. Like, nobody thinks Stephen A. Smith looks good coming out of this, right? He's the donkey of the day, right?
And that's what Charlemagne gave him.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Yes, Charlemagne. Yes. Stephen A. wins because he looks like an absolute clown of a human being right now. That's so stupid. And then his comment, what does Nike have to do with it? Is Nike going to stop making hoodies because Trayvon Martin was wearing a hoodie when he got shot?
Well, that's the thing. Like, are you going to compare the Trayvon Martin thing to every time a black person wears a hoodie? That's just the stupidest thing in the world to me. I mean, we understand that it's one of those things you can't really forget about what happened because it was a very serious thing, and you know, someone lost their life because of what happened there with that case. But to be out here blatantly saying that this is going to remind people of that is just it's just ludicrous to me that you could think that because someone is wearing a hoodie.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen somebody make such a stupid comment on ESPN, which is saying something because ESPN has myriad of stupid comments. Especially, we're going to get into some more later. But this is so just, I don't even know how to explain. I don't think I have the proper words to say what I think about this.
It's just asinine. We're just going to use...
It's asinine. We're going to use his own word against him.
It's just so frustrating to me because you could clearly see Stephen A. Smith just reaching. It's just the biggest reach in the world.
That's the biggest reach I've heard in a long time.
Oh, man. Just to, like, compare something to what happened earlier.
I feel like, and this is, I'm going to give you a little critique on what I think Stephen A's, why he is the way he is.
Okay.
I think Stephen A. is mad that he is not a sports star. Genuinely. I think that he's been bitter his entire life about not being an actual sports star.
Right.
And he's a sports news reporter. So because he's so bitter, I think he makes these dramas so he can feel like he's ahead of them in popularity or in terms of notability. And I think that's part of the reason. It's like a weird mental thing he has going on where he just wants to be the center of attention in the sports world.
Right.
I mean, this makes even Skip Bayless look okay. You know,
Yeah.
the comments he had. What was the Gordon Hayward comments? We talked about that on a podcast where he said he's like, oh,
Basically, the path for the finals is easier for LeBron now that Gordon Hayward got injured.
Everybody was mad at him then. This comment makes that look totally fine. I didn't really care about that comment in the first place. I thought it was mistimed, but who cares, really? He's just being stupid. This is literally, this brings into question a lot of different stuff, and it makes people actually wonder, does Stephen A. Smith have any clue of what he's talking about?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just tired of it, Stephen A. I used to like you, but now you're just reaching. Of course, now
we know you're going to listen to this, Stephen A.
I know, but it's just stupid because you got in a fight with Kevin Durant, and then he said his famous lines, "You don't want to make an enemy out of me."
Embarrassing.
Which just cringe there. And then you're getting into fights with LeBron James, criticizing him. I mean, which is nothing new because Skip Bayless does it as well. You're also getting into fights with now J.R. Smith, which was just the biggest reach, like we said.
I wonder if Stephen A. Smith's, the ratings on First Take were down.
I think they are. I mean, they have to be down, considering that I think people watch First Take for Skip Bayless and Stephen A.
Yeah.
And I think with those two feuding and them having different opinions, I think it makes for a more compelling TV show.
Yeah, the sad part is Max Kellerman is so much more enjoyable than both of them.
Yeah, but he's not going to get the notoriety because I don't think he has any really outrageous outtakes or
because he's a good reporter.
Because he's sensible.
Yeah, he's an actual decent human being and a good reporter. So that show's probably going to go away because ESPN doesn't like good reporting. Yikes.
All we can say is, Stephen A., as Charlemagne would say, you are the donkey of the day.
Donkey of the year. Christ's sake.